Do you think that measures that the Prime Minister introduced last night were proportionate? Because many people feel like we're going straight back into our liberties being curtailed with very little evidence that this is going to suggest any kind of worse form of COVID.
Well, we don't know whether it's going to cause more severe disease, but the data that is coming in does suggest that the virus may be more transmissible. But you have to remember that this data is at this point very limited and from one part of South Africa. But all the signatures in this virus suggest that it's going to transmit at a high speed, and therefore precautions have to be taken. We must also understand that this virus will go around the world. That's the experience that we have from Delta. And I think that's the reason that curbs are coming in to not limit people from traveling, but to test and trace and limit the spread of the virus. We can't stop it. We'll just have to limit it. But please wait for more data in the coming weeks.
Yes, as you say, lessons have been learnt from the Delta variant. There was criticism at the time that those flights were not stopped from India as quickly as they should have been, and that's why the spread happened as fast as it did. But what we do know about this Omicron variant, it was actually found in Botswana on the 11th of November, which is best part of 3 weeks ago now. And as you say, it actually can't be stopped from spreading around the world. How far does blocking flights and putting countries on red travel lists, how far does that go to halt the spread of a variant that is so, what we know and understand so far, is so transmissible as it is?
Well, those are just steps to limit the spread. As I said earlier, you can't stop it, but you must do whatever you can to prevent the spread in various populations. The UK is very heavily vaccinated. In fact, more than 15 million people have also received booster doses now. But this is something that the world has been saying, the World Health Organization has been saying, scientists have been saying that you can't ignore one part of the world because new variants will continue to emerge for this virus. So I think there is another lesson in this, and that is towards vaccine access and equity for the whole world.
Would you say that this is a knee-jerk reaction? We've already got 10 countries on the UK travel red list, and we only knew about this variant on Wednesday. The case numbers in South Africa are low, and from what we know so far, the symptoms are not severe, and we don't know of any deaths as of yet. Is this something that's perhaps been a bit rushed?
Well, hindsight is always 20/20. But what if it spreads more quickly? What if data that comes in 3 weeks or 4 weeks later shows that it is causing more severe disease? What then? I think everyone is being very cautious, especially with the holiday season around and with everyone wishing to travel. So some amount of caution is required at this point, both from a public policy perspective as well as from individuals.
Dr. Jameel, as a virologist, explain to us how variants are part and parcel of being in a pandemic, how we can expect probably more mutations in the future, perhaps with even more horrific-looking spike proteins. Isn't there a case or some explanation that you can give us to show that as time passes, these mutations become, the virus becomes weaker as every mutation takes place? Give us some hope.
Yes, so viruses have no interest in making us very sick or making or killing us, because if they kill the host, they don't multiply, they don't go from person to person. So over time, viruses modulate their virulence, modulate the severity of disease. And this is what will happen with this virus as well. But this, we have to realize, is a very new virus in our population. Viruses change all the time. The only changes that we see are changes that are somehow beneficial to the virus. Changes that can make it spread more rapidly, changes that will allow the virus to to spread from one person to the other, and that includes evading immunity. But then again, we never see those variants that don't give any advantage to the virus because they just don't survive. And so it's an observation bias essentially what we are seeing. But yes, the virus has mutated beyond expectation, and it will continue to mutate till it becomes like a common cold virus, and increasing immunity in the population is a part and parcel of that.
Dr. Jameel, we've got 3 weeks until we are having a review of these restrictions. What advice would you give to people in the UK in the meantime if we want to keep Christmas, with our extended families?
Well, have a good Christmas, but also have a safe Christmas and prepare for a safe Christmas. So we need to continue to have personal protection. Face masks are an important part of that. We talk about this variant or that variant, but a good face mask will stop all variants. So please continue to wear face masks, especially in closed spaces, on public transport, in shops. I mean, a lot of people are going shopping these days. So continue to put your face mask, although it's a recommendation, it's a request right now. But consider that request very seriously and continue to wear face masks in all closed spaces.